We should really talk about selling the house. My name is Elijah. I am 35 years old, and I have been married to Vanessa for 7 years. We lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, in a home I bought 3 years before we even met. That Thursday morning, she said it over coffee, like she was suggesting we switch grocery stores. I looked up from my tablet. What? The house? It is too big for just the two of us. She stirred her coffee without looking at me. My parents think we could downsize, get something modern, split the profit. Her parents. Always her parents. I worked as a structural engineer for Hollow Gate Systems. Steady job, good pay. I fixed bridges and designed load calculations for buildings that would stand long after I was gone. Vanessa worked part-time at a boutique downtown, but most days she spent at her parents' place in the suburbs. Said she was helping her mother with errands. I never questioned it. That house is paid off, I said. Why would we sell? She shrugged. Just something to think about. I let it go. I always let things go. That was 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. Since then, she had been on her phone more than usual. Late at night, I would wake up and see the glow from the bathroom. She said it was her friend Courtney. Always Courtney. Vanessa laughed at things I could not hear and typed messages I would never read. I told myself I was being paranoid. But there were other things, small things. She stopped asking about my day, stopped cooking the meals she used to make without me even asking, started wearing perfume when she went to see her parents. She used to hate perfume. One night I came home early and found her in the driveway, sitting in her car on the phone. She did not notice me pull up behind her. I watched her through the rearview mirror. She was smiling, the kind of smile I had not seen in months. When she finally got out, I asked who she was talking to. "Courtney," she said. "Girl stuff." I nodded. 2 days before Thanksgiving, I found a receipt in the trash. Dinner for 2 at a steakhouse downtown. I had been working late that night. She told me she ate leftovers at home. I did not say anything. I folded the receipt and put it in my wallet. Something was off. I knew it the way you know a structure is weak before it collapses. You feel it in the vibrations, in the way things settle wrong. I just did not know how bad it was yet. Vanessa and I met at a wedding in Raleigh. She was a bridesmaid. I was a groomsman. She laughed at my jokes and did not seem to care that I spent most of my time talking about cantilever bridges. 3 months later, we were dating. A year after that, I proposed. Her family loved me at first. Her father, Donald, worked in pharmaceutical sales. He made good money and never let anyone forget it. Her mother, Patricia, ran a book club and volunteered at their church. Her younger brother, Kyle, was 28 and still lived at home, working freelance graphic design jobs between video game marathons. They welcomed me in, said I was good for Vanessa, stable, responsible, the kind of man who had his life together. But somewhere along the way, that changed. It started small. Donald stopped shaking my hand at family dinners. Patricia would ask Vanessa how she was doing in a way that sounded like she was checking if I was treating her right. Kyle barely looked at me anymore. I thought maybe I had said something wrong, done something to offend them. But when I asked Vanessa, she brushed it off. "They're just stressed," she said. "Do not take it personally." So I didn't. I worked long hours, sometimes 60-hour weeks when a project deadline hit. I came home tired, ate whatever was in the fridge, and fell asleep on the couch. Vanessa said she understood. She said she was proud of me, but she stopped saying it as much. The week before Thanksgiving, I noticed she was packing more clothes than usual when she went to her parents' house. A duffel bag, not just an overnight bag. "You staying the night?" I asked. "Maybe," she said. "Mom wants help decorating for the holiday." "I can come help." "No, it's fine. You have work." I did have work, a bridge inspection report due Monday, but I would have gone if she asked. She did not ask. The night before Thanksgiving, I couldn't sleep. I sat in my office and opened my laptop. I don't know why I did it. Maybe I was looking for reassurance. Maybe I just needed to prove to myself I was wrong. I logged into our phone account, checked the call logs. Vanessa had been texting one number more than any other, hundreds of messages, late at night, early in the morning, during work hours. I did not recognize the number. I sat there staring at the screen until the sun came up. My coffee went cold. The house stayed quiet. And I knew deep in my gut that everything I feared was true. Thanksgiving Day. Vanessa wanted to spend it at her parents' house. She always did. I agreed because that's what you do when you're married. You compromise. You show up, you smile, and pretend everything is fine even when it's not. We drove separately. She said she wanted to stop by the store first. I said I would meet her there. I pulled into her driveway at noon. The house was decorated with fall wreaths and hay bales. Patricia answered the door with a tight smile. "Elijah, good to see you." She did not hug me. Inside, the house smelled like roasted turkey and cinnamon. Donald sat in his recliner watching football. Kyle was on the couch with his phone. Vanessa was in the kitchen with her mother. I set the pie I brought on the counter. Pumpkin, store-bought, but it was something. "Thanks," Vanessa said, without looking at me. Dinner was quiet. Everyone talked around me. About the game, about Patricia's book club, about Kyle's new freelance project. I sat there, cutting my turkey into smaller and smaller pieces, trying to figure out when I became invisible. After dessert, Vanessa stood up. "I need to talk to Elijah." Her voice was steady, too steady. She led me into the den. Her parents followed. So did Kyle. They all sat down like this was a planned meeting. I stayed standing. Vanessa reached into her purse and pulled out a manila envelope. She set it on the coffee table in front of me. "I want a divorce," she said. I stared at the envelope. My brain couldn't process the words. "What?" "I'm not happy, Elijah. I haven't been happy for a long time." Her parents nodded. Kyle smirked, and then they started clapping. Slow at first, then louder. Patricia smiled. Donald gave Vanessa a thumbs up. Kyle laughed and said, "Finally." I looked at Vanessa. She wasn't crying. She wasn't even upset. She looked relieved. "I brought you something too," I said. My voice sounded far away, like it was coming from someone else. I reached into my jacket pocket and pulled out a small gift box wrapped in plain brown paper. I set it on the table next to the divorce papers. Vanessa frowned. "What is this?" "Open it." She hesitated. Then she picked it up and tore off the paper. Inside was a thumb drive. "What is this supposed to be?" she asked. 6 months. Photos, text messages, hotel receipts, everything. Her face went pale. Patricia stopped smiling. Donald leaned forward in his chair. Kyle's smirk disappeared. "You're lying. Those photos don't prove anything." I did not respond. Another text. "Jordan is just a friend. You're twisting this into something it is not." I turned off my phone. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls, 12 from Vanessa, 3 from Patricia, 2 from Donald. I deleted all of them. I made coffee, ate toast, and went to work like it was any other Friday. At 10 o'clock a.m., my phone rang. It was a number I did not recognize. "Hello, Mr. Elijah. This is Garrett. I am Vanessa's attorney." I leaned back in my chair. "Okay. My client is prepared to move forward with the divorce. We would like to schedule mediation as soon as possible." "Sure." "She is also requesting the house as part of the settlement. Given that you were married when significant improvements were made, she believes she is entitled to half the equity." I almost laughed. "The house is mine. I bought it before we were married. I paid the mortgage."
"I paid for every repair, every upgrade. She has no claim to it." Garrett paused. "We will see what the court says." You do that." I hung up. That afternoon, Vanessa showed up at my office. Security called and asked if I wanted them to send her away. I said no, let her come up. She walked into my cubicle with red eyes and smudged makeup. "You humiliated me," she said. "You humiliated yourself. Jordan and I are not together. It was just a few dinners, a few conversations. It did not mean anything. Then why did you file for divorce?" She did not answer. "You wanted out," I said, "so get out, but you are not taking my house." She stared at me like she was seeing me for the first time. "You have changed," she said. "No, you just stopped paying attention." She left without another word. I watched her walk down the hallway until she disappeared around the corner. Then I went back to my work like nothing had happened. The divorce moved fast. Vanessa wanted it done. So did I. Her lawyer pushed hard for the house, said it was a marital asset, said Vanessa contributed to the household and deserved compensation. My lawyer, a woman named Francine, who wore reading glasses on a chain and did not smile once during our first meeting, tore that argument apart in 15 minutes. The house was purchased prior to marriage. The deed is in your name. All mortgage payments came from your personal account. She has no legal claim. Vanessa tried to argue that she paid for groceries, for utilities, for furniture. Francine asked for receipts. Vanessa could not provide any. The judge ruled in my favor. The house stayed mine. Vanessa got her car and whatever personal belongings she could prove were hers. No alimony, no settlement, just a clean break. She moved in with her parents the day the papers were finalized. I thought that would be the end of it. It was not. A week later, I got a call from my boss. His name was Gerald, and he had been running the engineering department at Hollowgate Systems for 20 years. He was a good man, fair, direct. "Elijah, we need to talk." I met him in his office. He closed the door and sat down across from me. "I got a complaint," he said, "from Vanessa." I blinked. "What?" "She called HR yesterday, said you have been harassing her, threatening her. She wants a restraining order." "That is a lie." "I know, but HR has to investigate. You're going to be placed on administrative leave until this gets sorted out." "How long?" 2 weeks, maybe more." I sat there in silence. My hands went numb. My throat tightened. I could not believe she would go this far. "I am sorry, Elijah. I know this is not fair, but my hands are tied." I nodded, stood up, walked out. That night, I called Claudia. "I need more," I said. "More what? More proof? Vanessa is trying to bury me. I need to know everything." Claudia was quiet for a moment. "You're sure you want to go down this road?" "I am already on it." "Okay, give me a week." A week later, she sent me a file. It was bigger than I expected. Jordan was not just a real estate agent. He was married, 2 kids. His wife had no idea. Vanessa had been seeing him for 8 months, not 6. They met before the open house at a hotel bar downtown. Patricia did not introduce them. She covered for them. There were more photos, text messages Claudia pulled from Vanessa's cloud backup, screenshots of conversations where Vanessa and Patricia planned how to get me out of the house, how to make me look unstable, how to take everything I had. One message stood out. Vanessa to Patricia. "Once I get the house, Jordan and I can move in together. Elijah will not fight it. He never fights." I printed everything, put it in a folder, sent copies to my lawyer. Francine called me 2 hours later. "This changes things," she said. "If she is making false claims to damage your career, we can file a countersuit. Defamation, malicious intent. She will regret this. Do it." The restraining order was denied. HR cleared me after reviewing phone records and security footage that proved I had not contacted Vanessa once since she moved out. I went back to work. Vanessa went quiet. But I was not done yet. Jordan's wife deserved to know. I debated it for 3 days. It was not my business. It was not my fight. But every time I thought about letting it go, I remembered Vanessa's face when she handed me those divorce papers, the way her family clapped like I was the punchline to a joke. I made the call. Her name was Olivia. She answered on the second ring. "Hello, my name is Elijah. I do not know you, but I think you need to hear something." I told her everything. Sent her the photos, the messages, the hotel receipts. She did not cry. She did not yell. She just said, "Thank you," and hung up. 2 days later, Jordan called me. His voice shook. "You ruined my life. You ruined it yourself. Olivia left me, took the kids. I'm gonna lose everything." "Good." He hung up. Vanessa found out the same day. She showed up at my house that night, pounding on the door. I did not answer. She screamed through the door, "You're a vindictive piece of trash! You couldn't just let me be happy!" I sat on the couch and waited for her to leave. Eventually she did. The next morning, I got a text from Patricia. "You have destroyed this family. I hope you're proud of yourself." I deleted it. A week later, Francine called. "Vanessa is trying to countersue. She's claiming emotional distress, says you leaked private information to destroy her relationship. Can she do that?" "She can try, but she will not win. The information you provided was relevant to your case. You had every right to protect yourself." "What about Jordan's wife? Did I cross a line there?" "Morally, that's up to you. Legally, no. You did not defame anyone. You just told the truth." The countersuit was dismissed 3 weeks later. Vanessa moved to Raleigh. I heard she got a job at another boutique. I heard Jordan moved back in with his parents. I heard Patricia and Donald stopped talking to anyone who asked about the divorce. I didn't care. I went back to work, fixed bridges, designed buildings, came home to a quiet house that finally felt like mine. One night I stood in the kitchen making dinner. Just pasta and marinara sauce. Nothing fancy. I poured a glass of water and sat at the table. The house was silent. For the first time in months, it did not bother me. I thought about calling someone, a friend, a co-worker, anyone. But I didn't. I just sat there eating my pasta and looking out the window at the street. The neighborhood was quiet. A dog barked somewhere in the distance. A car drove past with its headlights cutting through the dark. I finished my dinner, washed the plate, turned off the lights. I went upstairs and stood in the bedroom doorway. Vanessa's side of the closet was empty. The dresser drawers were bare. The bathroom counter had half the products it used to. I didn't miss any of it. I climbed into bed and fell asleep faster than I had in months. No noise from the bathroom, no glow from a phone screen. Just silence, just peace. 6 weeks after the divorce was finalized, I got a letter in the mail from Olivia, Jordan's ex-wife. She thanked me, said you gave me the proof I needed to leave, said your lawyer used the evidence I provided to secure full custody of the kids in a settlement that left Jordan with almost nothing. She also said something else. You saved me from wasting more years on a lie. I hope you find peace. I folded the letter and put it in my desk drawer next to the thumb drive. A month passed. I ran into Patricia at a grocery store. She saw me from across the aisle and turned around, walked the other direction without a word. I did not follow her. Vanessa tried to reach out once, a text message late at night. I'm sorry for how things ended. I wasn't thinking clearly. I read it twice. Then I blocked her number. My lawyer told me Vanessa tried to buy a condo with Jordan. The bank denied their loan. Turns out his credit was destroyed after the divorce. Vanessa couldn't afford it on her own. They broke up 2 weeks later. I didn't celebrate. I didn't gloat. I just kept moving forward. I got a promotion at work. Lead engineer on a new project. A bridge spanning a river outside Asheville. evenings running calculations, my mornings on site watching the concrete get poured and the steel beams get welded into place. The work felt good, solid, real. Spring came. The house felt lighter. I repainted the living room, bought new furniture, tore out the old deck and built a new one with my own hands. I worked weekends, stayed late at the office, went for runs in the morning before the sun came up. I did not date. I did not look for anyone. I just existed, one day at a time. One Saturday, I drove out to the bridge site, stood on the bank and watched the water move beneath the steel beams. The project was ahead of schedule. The inspections were clean. Everything was holding. I thought about Vanessa, about her family, about the way they clapped when she handed me those papers. I did not feel anger anymore. I did not feel anything, just relief. That night I sat on my new deck with a beer and watched the sunset. The air smelled like cut grass and wood stain. My phone buzzed with a work email. I ignored it. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I could breathe. Vanessa lost everything she tried to take from me. Her relationship fell apart. Her family stopped talking to half their friends after word got out about the affair. Patricia resigned from her book club. Donald lost a client who found out he knew about the affair and said nothing. Kyle still lived at home, still played video games, still did not have a real job. Jordan lived in a one-bedroom apartment on the east side of Raleigh. Olivia got the house, the kids, the life they built. I got my house, my job, my peace. I did not need anything else. Sometimes the best revenge is just walking away and letting them destroy themselves.